Go ahead.
John, is that one of those failed photographs that you couldn't get sharp? What's going on back there? Oh, it's one of your. It went blank. You
No,
couldn't
it
even see
looks
it.
like look, I'm holding up the aurora. Can you see it? Look at that. It's so cool the way that's working. That's the
Oh my God.
exact picture in the book.
Well, I can't see your face, so there's a great image.
That's a bonus. Yeah, that's one of my failed aurora images. I lost all the color. I don't know what the heck happened.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was really colorful, but it didn't translate on my sensor.
Well, that's no longer on the newsstand, so I guess you really ought to stop talking about it.
I think I should. I'm going to
Oh,
work
what is on the newsstands now? Oh, that's right.
Cole Thompson. Yeah, congratulations, buddy.
Oh, we already
Number 899. This is your
talked.
ninth.
Number 9.
Wow. I think you are in the lead. You have the most ever portfolios in Lenswork magazine.
That's my goal in life, John, to get to 10 because I've got a little Mr. Monk in me, little OCD. It's got to be an even number. So
Yeah.
it's got to get to number 10.
Okay, get to number 10. All right. Well, good luck. Do you have something you're working on there in Maui? That'll go, right? That'll be your next one.
I'm doing a portfolio on Maui, which I generally don't like location portfolios because I guess they're too easy. They're not about something, a thought, right? But I
Yeah.
really like Maui, and so I've been working on that.
So what do you want to talk about today? How about we talk about finding an audience, or who is your audience? We've asked people, why do they photograph? Well, it seems to me the next question could be, might be, not necessarily have to be, I guess, really. So who are you doing this for? Who is your audience?
And I liked how you phrased it the first time. How do you find your audience? And maybe even a bigger question, should you be seeking an audience? I
Huh,
think those are all good questions.
okay. So go ahead. I know you have some thoughts on this one because we've,
Brooks talked about this. Was that at OCC?
oh crap. Brooke, hold on. Let me get the checkbook.
Check that out. Um,
I think it was that out of Chicago.
yeah, all work will find an audience. I remember when I was a younger photographer, I would go to an exhibit and I'd go, whoa, I could have thrown my camera in the air on a 2-second timer and taken better pictures than that. What terrible work. No, we've learned that there is no good art or bad art. There's just different art. And whatever it is, it will appeal to someone. I'm sure somebody in the world likes those aurora images of yours. I mean, I don't know who, maybe somebody in Mongolia who's never seen a photograph of an aurora and
Yeah.
he doesn't, it's supposed to be in color, but we'll find an audience. The more eclectic our work, the smaller the audience, the more mundane and routine and following the rules and colorful, we'll find a bigger audience.
Yeah.
But should we even seek one? Or is it just naturally occur?
Yeah, or yeah, I was going to say, or what? And I think that's the answer, right? Or let the audience find you. Is that your
I don't
thought?
know. I mean, look at who's the lady who was a street photographer and we didn't find
Uh,
her
Vivian Meyer.
here. Now, she was either mentally ill or could care less about others looking at her work because she did seem to be a bit of a hoarder. She had much unprocessed film, but she
Yeah,
didn't seem to share her work with other people. We don't
at
know why.
all.
But let's pretend that she didn't share it with other people because she didn't care about others and their reactions and their approval. She just loved creating. And I'm such a big fan of hers. I find such humor and such insightfulness into her work. And then to me, that she didn't try to share it with others makes it even more appealing for some reason.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you've become uncelibate to look at her work?
I looked at her work when it first came out,
Okay.
because it was all in the big news.
Yeah, it was.
I find it fascinating.
I think
More,
it's brilliant.
yeah, and more so by the fact she didn't share it with others. And fortunately, someone bought those boxes of junk,
Yep.
discovered something wonderful, and shared it with the world.
Yep.
Otherwise, she would have found an audience.
That's right. And
But she didn't seem to need an audience. That's really
no,
interesting.
well, how did you find your audience?
Well, for the longest time, I was trying to find an
Oh, okay.
audience because I wanted to be the next Ansel Adams. I wanted to be famous. I thought somehow that fame would enrich my life. But, I came to realize it didn't. But I do put my images out there, and many people have asked me, why do you do that? If you're creating for yourself, why do you put your images out there? Now, that's really the wrong question, because you can create for yourself and then still enjoy associating with other people who also like that type of work and like your work. The two aren't mutually exclusive. But the real question is, why do I put my work on anything, even a website?
Yeah.
I guess it's because I do want an audience.
Yeah.
That's got to be the only answer, right?
Yeah. You want others to see that work. I don't, knowing you now, I don't think you do it for the money. You don't necessarily need the money to pay your mortgage, right? But you certainly do sell them. And so does that bring you a level of satisfaction to sell something?
Oh, absolutely. The selling, not the money, the selling. That's why I keep my prices so low, because I believe, as Edward Weston said, we're going to start writing checks to Edward, that photography is every man's art. It ought to be affordable and accessible to everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
And I've mentioned this, whenever somebody gets a print of mine, I ask them, once it's framed, to take a picture of them and the image on the wall, because that brings me satisfaction.
You know what I love is when we do the workshops together, you always bring prints and allow people to take one, which is awfully generous, and people are genuinely surprised and very grateful rather. But what I love is everyone, you will want to know what they chose, and usually there's a two-way discussion that happens. You tell them about that image a little bit, where it's from, very short, but it's a nice little piece of information that you give them, and then you ask them oftentimes why they chose that one. And I think that's wonderful. It's not just this, oh, that's pretty, I take that home. It means something more, and generally it means something way more than you probably intended with that image.
I'm proud of my image. I love them. They're my children. And so when somebody wants one, that makes me happy. The thought that I will die and my images will be in thousands of homes. I just,
Pretty
it's not
cool.
going to do me any good, but it warms my heart today.
Yeah. So we leave the viewers today basically with the question, who is your audience, and
who do you want it to be also?
Yeah, and who do you want it to be? And is it important that you have one? Is it important that your audience is big so you can make money? And I do think that gets back to the question of, why do we photograph? I mean, if in fact you are needing to pay bills and pay mortgages and put food on the table of your family, well, then your audience is going to be different than the type of people I think we attract with our show, the millions of people who come to this channel to talk about expressive photography.
We got to end talking about Brooks again, because he brought up the fact that I don't know of any other hobby where people try to monetize it like photography. I dare say that 95% of photographers I meet have tried to sell their work. They're getting them in coffee shops. They're posting them, trying to sell them through Etsy or through Fine Art America. And it is interesting. Does any other sport do that? Does any
or hobby? I mean, people who knit. I guess there are people who do knit things and do sell them, but I mean, it's infinitesimal compared to photographers. It's the 5% of the 95% of photographers who try to sell stuff. But you're right. So crocheting, knitting, wine making, name them. I mean, any hobby that you don't try to monetize those. You do them for the love and passion of the hobby.
Fun of it, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Photographers. Well, hey, I know. I'll make money.
What's that about?
Hey, it's been good to chat. Enjoy Hawaii.
Okay.
When do we see each other next? Oh, Faroe Islands.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. That's a long way off. That's like
July. That's around the corner.
Oh my gosh, it is.
That's going to be great.
Year's going too fast.
We've got a good group. We do have one spot open, and well, maybe by the time this airs, it won't be, because I do have somebody interested in that spot. We did have our dear friend Roxanne finally decided she couldn't come. And
Oh.
so we do have one spot. So if somebody hears this in the next couple of weeks, and you go take a look on my website, barclayphoto.com, and see if the spot's still available if you want
Hey,
to come to.
if Roxanne's not coming, I think we should throw her under the bus. I never really liked Roxanne anyway. I'm glad she's not coming.
That's terrible. I
Do
really
we,
love Oxford.
do we have any Death Valley open still?
No, that's full.
That's
So I've got a wait list. I'm going to see how many show up on that. We might add a second Death Valley. So if you're interested in Death Valley, go put yourself on the wait list on my website again, barclayphoto.com. If we get 10 people there, we'll add a second week.
How about Oregon? How's that?
Those are full.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we did 2 of those?
Yeah. 2 of those. Yeah.
Okay. Well, sorry then. Oregon.
Yeah. All righty.
See ya.
Take care.